Hi. If you're over 60 and thinking about selling a home in Sherman Oaks, Encino, or Studio City, stop scrolling. The rules of Los Angeles real estate are nothing like they were when you bought 20 to 30 years ago. This video can save you tens, even hundreds of thousands of dollars when you sell. And if your plan is to call the same Sherman Oaks, Encino, or Studio City realtor that you used decades ago, that decision alone could cost you a fortune. You want the best real estate agent in Sherman Oaks, Encino, or Studio City working for you and not against your stress level. This is the video you need to watch. So stick with me, and I'm going to break down the 10 most important things every homeowner over 60 needs to know before selling in Sherman Oaks, Encino, Studio City, or anywhere in Los Angeles. And a quick favor before we jump in, if you're considering selling within the next few years, please click subscribe, hit the like button, and don't forget to comment below. I'd love to know your thoughts. All right, so you guys know how I love telling stories. Let me tell a story about Diane. We'll call it Diane's journey. So Diane called me a couple years ago, and when I first visited her house, I could tell she was trepid and nervous about the idea of selling and going through all of her stuff that she had accumulated for 30 years. Each room was beautiful, but it had so many things in it. The carpet was worn, it had wallpaper, the lighting was dim, and just the thought and the overwhelm of having to move and go through and clean everything out was just too much to bear. So we took our time, and finally, Diane came to me and said, "Alan, I think it's time for us to sell." So slowly but surely, one step at a time, we hooked her up with a senior move specialist that helped her go through all of her personal items, figure out which items she wanted to keep, which items she could let go, box things up, put it in the garage, found her a place to move to. She figured out with a space planner which pieces of furniture were going to go with her. Everything was taken one step at a time. Slowly but surely we got there. And then it was time for us to take care of the house. Now, Diane thought, well, I'll just sell it to a developer really quickly and just keep it simple because I don't want to go through the hassle. So she ultimately wound up taking our advice, and we cleaned up the house. We took the wallpaper down, we painted it white, we replaced some of the carpeting, put in some new chandeliers and lighting, and professionally staged the home. And when it was time to sell, we got multiple offers for her and sold the house hundreds of thousands of dollars over the asking price and more than what she had expected because of what we did to the home. When you're over 60, selling is not easy. It is definitely a stressful and difficult process, and there are a lot of ways in which you can sell your home. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about all the different things and how real estate works for those of you that have lived in your home for 30 or 40 years. So make sure you stay tuned, and please like and subscribe. More coming your way right now. Inspections alone are enough to make people want to just give away $100,000 or $200,000. I get it, right? I understand. I mean, I go in a lot of living rooms and I see people over 60 nervous about what people are going to find in their homes. Now, look, you may have really strong reason to believe that there's a significant issue because you've had inspectors come over and they've looked at it and you just don't see the opportunity of selling it to an owner user buyer. And so maybe in situations like that, it does make sense. But look, inspections are just part of the process. Most of these homes are well built. I have sold 500 houses in the San Fernando Valley, and I can tell you very rarely is there something so catastrophic that a buyer won't proceed with the sale if they love the home, as long as they get some type of a credit, right? Now, here's in a nutshell how the inspection process works, right? The buyer buys your home and they pay a price based on the way that they feel. They have no idea what the condition of the house is, and they're choosing to make a financial decision on the value that they give to your home based on the way you present it to the marketplace. Then they do 10, 12, 14 days worth of inspections, and they're going to inspect the roof, the sewer line, the chimney, the termite. They're going to do a general. Could they do foundation or drainage and hillside? Absolutely. And could all of these things stack up? I mean, look, guys, I've been in escrows where a buyer has asked for $100,000 in requests, and my seller said, "I'll give you $5,000, take it or leave it," and the buyer gladly moved forward. Having your home inspected is nerve-wracking. And look, if you want to do pre-inspections, you can. We do not advocate that. Message me, give me a call, 818-217-1767. I'll talk to you about the pros and cons of doing the inspections. In fact, why don't we just talk about it a little bit right now? So if you do a general home inspection on your house, let's just say, you're going to be giving the buyer 50 or 60 pages of possible deficiencies. Now, a lot of these are code violations, but still, when the buyer reads through all this stuff and they see all the issues that a home inspector has come up with, I think it creates a different perception of value than if the buyer just moves forward and pays you based on how they feel, finds a bunch of stuff. Their realtor says, "Hey, forget all the code violation stuff. It's really just narrowed, to a little bit older roof. Maybe the chimney needs to be relined, and maybe the sewer line needs to be cleaned out," right? So once you deal with that stuff in escrow, after the buyer's already paid you a price right here and you give them a small credit, you ultimately get more money. All right. So look, inspections are a thing. It's going to happen. There are ways to mitigate risk and make sure you get through your house and sell it for more money by selling it to an owner user. Stay tuned, guys. More tips coming your way right now. Is the change in the real estate commissions. Now, a lot of you have seen the headlines that the cost of selling your home has gone down by 50% because the buyer's agent's fee is now going to be paid by the buyer and all this great news. But look, the reality is that the seller is still paying the commission. 99% of the time on all the deals we've done since the commission lawsuit has gone into effect, the buyer buyer does negotiate the fee that they are going to pay their agent separately, right? When a buyer gets in a car and wants to go look at houses, that agent has a buyer broker agreement signed, says, I'm going to be paid 2.5%. But oh, by the way, when we write the offer, we're going to ask the seller to pay for it. Now, forget about industry standard. That's a bad word. What's customary? That's probably a bad word. How about what we see happening? What we see happening is that the sellers are saying yes. Now, in a couple instances, the seller's saying no, and then the buyer's coming back and saying, well, I'm going to raise the price, but I want you to pay for it because I'd like to finance it instead of pay for it out of my cost. So look, either way, for the most part, and depending on the situation, hiring the best real estate agents possible, making your house look a certain way, going ahead and paying the professionals to help bring the buyer together and create that deal and that outcome that you look for at the highest price possible is the way, in my humble opinion, to sell a home today. So understand that working with real estate agents is part of the deal. Now look, let's say you're selling your home to a developer. There are ways for you to save money on the commission. Maybe the real estate agent that you work with will have the commission for representing you, but then when the offer comes in from the developer, they'll take a smaller piece, maybe 1%, maybe no commission, and they'll have that buyer sign a non-agency. I'm in one of those deals right now, and I'm saving my seller thousands of dollars. So look, every situation is different. You know, the cost of sale, not just commissions, but city and county transfer tax, escrow, title, home warranty, retrofit, inspections, all of that stuff is just part of the sale. So most importantly, make your house look good, have a good real estate agent in your corner, pay the price, and just move on. Guys, stay tuned. We got more tips coming your way right now. All right, guys, so prepping and staging matter more than ever. Let's say you're going to stay in your home and sell it while you're living in it. And a lot of people need to do that, right? They don't have the capital or the funds, and they don't want to take on the new debt and have the risk of holding both properties, and they want to live in the house when they're selling it. So look, staging and prepping matter more than ever. Working with an interior designer who can come into your home, take pieces of furniture that don't belong in a space, pack them up, move them into the garage carefully, organize all the beautiful tchotchkes. I mean, there's a lot of little things that can be done to transform the way your home looks so that today's buyer is going to like it. And look, I'll be honest, if you're over 60 and you're living in your home for 30 years, that's the last thing that you want to do. I get it. So your decision to do that is going to be entirely up to you and based on how much you want the money, right? If your agent's going to tell you, look, I can probably sell it for 20 to 30,000 if we take down all the window coverings, clean the windows, rearrange your furniture, maybe do a little bit of painting, maybe I send you out of the house for a week and kind of give the house a makeover while you still live in it and sell it for between $30,000 to $50,000 more. Is that worth it? That's basically the decision that you're going to have to make. And if it's not, don't do it. Just lower the price until the buyer absorbs it and let them deal with everything and move out. So there's no right or wrong way to do it. These are just ideas and concepts on how to make your house sell quicker and for more money. Buyer offers and which offer to select. Cash, finance, how does it all work? All right, so let's say you cleaned up your house and you've made it look a certain way and you've priced it fairly and now you're engaging the marketplace, right? Now, for the most part, a buyer who writes an offer all cash thinks that he's a more certain deal and is therefore going to ask for a discount and offer you possibly a lower price for your house. And while that's tempting, if you're working with a really good agent, they're going to help you understand the buyer's financial capability, if there's financing, to help you sell your home for more money. And the way they do that is by working with their lender, working with the other lender. I don't know if you know this or not, but the contract does allow for your real estate agent to pick up the phone and call the buyer's lender and say, hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, how easy is this loan going to be made? What is the buyer's debt to income ratio? Do you have all the buyer's financial documents? Are they self-employed or are they full documentation? What's the credit score? All of these things are going to factor into the risk and the likeliness that the loan is going to get done. I can tell you 90% of the time the buyer is fully approved. It's really more likely that the buyer is going to get the deal, but occasionally sometimes it slips through the crack and you have a buyer who fails over the loan contingency. But if you really do a good job of evaluating the risk, then you'll understand the differences between the cash offer and the financed offer to help you make the right decision. Now, with a financed offer, you are going to have to deal with an appraisal. So if there's an appraisal contingency and it doesn't come in at the agreed upon value, the buyer does have a right to cancel. But if your agent is really good, he's evaluated all the comps, he thinks there's enough data there, you should be fine. We're not seeing a declining market like we did in 2008 and 2009, where appraisers are coming in huffing and puffing and saying values are worth less because there's no comps, and we're not coming on the upswing. We're pretty much balanced at this point. There's plenty of recent trades that will support value. So another reason to consider going with a financed offer if it's significantly higher than the cash. So look, all in all, work with an experienced real estate agent that understands how to evaluate the risk of each offer, and you're going to sell your house for more money. All right, guys. So this one is the agent that you choose can make you or break you, right? Not all agents are created equal. There are listing agents that sell 20, 30, 50 houses a year and have these massive systems and teams and processes. And there's the real estate agent that you bought the house from 20 to 30 years ago, who's really more a buyer's agent, doesn't really have the expertise, not really in the game. Look, loyalty is a beautiful thing. I love it when people are loyal. It's the greatest thing ever. Sometimes that costs money, but you know what? If that's what makes you feel good, do it. But if you really want to sell your house for the most amount of money, working with a real estate agent that has a systematic process for seller representation may result in the most money coming your way. And it's all of the following, right? So it's how they help you make the home look, the vendors that they have, the vendors, how good of a job they do, the price that they charge you. I wouldn't say convince you, but how they help you see the value in pricing the home properly. It's the marketing they do, the video they create, the content, the channels that they push it out on, right? They're not just taking photographs and sticking them in the MLS and hoping that that's going to bring the buyer, which is what a lot of real estate agents do. The top listing agents have YouTube channels, have Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and TikTok accounts with thousands and thousands of followers, a lot of them real estate agents, and are masters at creating the perception of value and desire for your home in the way they present and market your home so that people want to come and see it. They've got relationships with all the agents in the community. They regularly sit open houses. All the agents want to come and see their listings. They're great to work with. Those are the types of agents that are probably going to help you sell your house for the most money and the least amount of hassle. They've got systems and processes. They use form letters. They keep you in the loop. They run their business systematically so you don't have to know what's going on. So think about that before you choose your real estate agent. Stay loyal if you want, or hire the best real estate in the city that you're in, and you might sell your home for a little more money. There's another one for you guys, timing, right? So the timing in which you sell your home can have a significant impact on the final sales price, right? We all talk about spring being the best time to sell. It's when the most amount of people are buying. It's when the sun starts shining and the flowers are in bloom and your home never looks better. So the safest bet every year is going to be to put your house out there in spring. What we've learned is that in 2025, in spring, the market slowed. In Los Angeles, we had the fires, we had tariff uncertainty, we had stock market volatility. There were a lot of things that were making the buyers pause. And the real reality for 2025, if you look back at it, the people that sold earlier in the year were the ones that sold their house for more money. The idea is always to be selling your home when the demand is highest, when you're competing against the least amount of homes. So just be mindful of the fact that if you come out in April or May, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 other homes in your immediate neighborhood may try to come out at the same time as you, which is ultimately going to affect your ability to sell the house at the price you want. If you say, look, I'm going to come to market a little bit quicker, I'm going to get myself ready and come out maybe in February and March, it's possible that you might sell your house for more money. Look, we don't have a crystal ball. I don't really know what to honestly tell you. There's no secret sauce here. Best thing you could possibly do is have your house look the best and try to sell it when people are out there looking. And if the market's going in the opposite direction and it's starting to be sluggish, then the only thing you can really do is pick the best time of year when the most people are looking, which is probably spring, make your house look good, and just let the cards fall where they may. So when you put your home on the market is going to have an impact. Talk to your realtor, figure it out, make the best decision for you, and you're going to sell your house and everything's going to work out. So buying your next home. So this is the tricky part, right? You're living in your home and you're selling it and you don't know exactly where you're going to go, right? So there's a couple options. The home of choice contingency allows you to identify where you're going to go in the market depending on the speed of it. So right now there's a little bit more balance and homes are taking a little bit longer to sell, allows you to buy contingent upon the sale of yours. If you don't go through with the sale of the house that you're going to buy, it allows you to then cancel the sale that you're in with your current buyer. So nobody wants to be homeless. So it's doable. You can stay in your home and you can sell. There's other options available as well, like bridge financing, right? This is probably the most expensive way or inexpensive way to do it is you work with a lender to obtain financing on the home that you're buying and you pay a little extra. Maybe it winds up costing you 20 or 30 extra $1,000 to go ahead and get the bridge loan that you need to buy first and then sell. But let's say you don't want to do that. Then your only other alternative is to stay in your home and sell it and either A, negotiate a leaseback. So a 60-day leaseback is the maximum amount of time that you can be given by a buyer who's obtaining financing. So if you did, let's say say a 45-day escrow with a 60-day lease back, you can see that you have roughly 105 days in the home before you need to move. Now, when you're writing the offer with the lease back, the idea here is to get your home sold with the money in the bank so that you're no longer contingent upon the sale of your home. And if it works, the way it works is you have 30 days from the time you close to find your replacement house and 30 days to close in order to move right into it without doing a double move. So timing, structure, how you wind up piecing it all together, you have options. If you're going to work with a really good real estate agent, they're going to be able to structure something that works for you. Emotions and letting go. So I don't mean to make this process sound simple and to convince every seller that they need to maximize every dollar that they possibly can. Selling a home in Encino, Sherman Oaks, or Studio City, and one that you've lived in for 20, 30, or 40 years is an extremely emotional process. It is so difficult. It's like you're ripping a piece of your body off of you. It's your home. It's where you raised your kids. It's where all your memories are. It is interesting. I've had such a fascinating experience in my career as a real estate agent, seeing how some people just let properties go easy and seeing how hard it is for some people to let their homes go. Our job as real estate professionals is to give you the options and the information and then let you decide a strategy that makes the most sense for you. Because in the end of the day, we want you to feel really good about this process. We want to feel good about how much money you've taken away from the sale of your home. We want you to feel like it was done on your terms. And we want you to feel proud of the way you let go of your home that you've lived in for the last 20, 30, or 40 years. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're over 60 and you've lived in your home for 20, 30, or 40 years, please don't hesitate to reach out to my office. Give us a call. We're happy to talk to you with no obligation and just educate you on this process, help you along with your journey. It would be our greatest pleasure. Please like, subscribe to this channel for more real estate content. You can reach our office by calling 818-217-1767. You can email us at info@atrealestategroup.com. There's also a seller's guide down below. Please fill out the form. We'll send that to you, and we look forward to having a relationship with you in the future. All the best and good luck to you on your journey.